Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I get psychoanalyzed deep within.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Remington, why is moving so hard?
Do you know that it's crazy you ask that, Shaun, because that has been the question on my mind for a month and a half now, especially the past 2 weeks, but it's been for the past 2 weeks, I've been properly moving, but for the past month and a half, I've been vaguely in the process.
Yeah, and once you actually started the process, my god, what a process.
Yeah.
Definitely ate through our episode buffer. That's gone.
Let me put it this way. I am amazed we were able to not fall behind, because, goddamn.
I was preparing, Rem. Like I said, I got a large handful of anime that we could cover in around 3 episodes and be fine. Short discussion times, keep it nice, simple, and easy, and I was hoping we could keep the buffer, but, that did not happen. But that's okay, we'll get it back, we got time. But in the meantime, I still have a couple, moving time, anime that are gonna be relatively easy for you to watch and quickly for us to cover. Get a nice tasty episode out of it.
Don't worry, everybody, we'll get back to the craziness.
Yeah, it's just a matter of life is rough, and I'd much rather do simple, straightforward shows that have some fun goof potential rather than miss a week of recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make sure people at least get a little bit of something from us. That sounds weird.
We will feed you shit weekly as long as we're feeding you. And you'll love it. You'll go to the trough and you'll eat it all up.
And then you'll send us a message and be like, please, sir, can I have some more? And we just look at you and simultaneously just go, more?
And then you'll say, I love the episodes. Could you guys do this? And then Shaun will be like, all right, nobody has requested this show. We're doing this. Plenty of people have requested that one. Fuck it. We're doing this one. Nobody has requested. And it'll be great. It'll be great.
Hey, I've done that a handful of times, but I have done a lot of heavily requested shows recently. Thank you very much.
It's true.
But that being said, Rem, today we have an anime that... Don't laugh.
No, go finish the sentence. Shaun. Out of curiosity, how many people were clamoring for the anime we're doing this week?
Well, Rem, if you want an exact count...
going to our, Gmail right now? And
I have it pulled up right now. 5 people. Over 5 years of making the podcast, because this anime came out in 2017.
This is for you 5. You 5 are gonna be hyped. If you are one of the people who recommended this, we're doing it almost exclusively for you.
The most recent recommendation for it was February of last year. So,
nice and timely. Oh, fuck.
Well, hey, Rem, it recently got a season 2, so that's why it's on my mind. And by recently, I mean October of 2021.
Recently, you bastard. Okay, all right. I'm excited to figure out what the fuck this abomination that no one cares about is.
Hey, it's not that nobody cares about it. Clearly people care about it. It got a second season. It's just a matter of, hey, this is a show that I watched when it came out. And I thought to myself, yeah, this is alright. This is pretty entertaining for what it is. And I needed a good show like that to keep our conversation going for, the podcast we do while you are, losing so much of your free time to moving from one location to another. And the one I got for you today is fucking perfect for that. It's fucking perfect for that. Because, I'll be real with you, Rem, plot in this anime is plot is a strong word. That is what I'm gonna say.
Plot is a word with a lot of power, and we need to be careful how we use such words.
But hey, sometimes you don't need much plot. And we've seen shows where that's been the case, right? Like, me and Rem, we love a good, thick, juicy plot. But sometimes we just need something light and fluffy and, just...
My plot is the only reason Shaun stays with me.
Because the sound of it keeps alerting the guards. But no, Rem, I figured that since we did an Isekai last week, because if you recall, Digimon is an Isekai, why not do another Isekai? Why not do another one? But this one is...
Ooh, all right.
You're terrified.
I gotta start my breathing exercises just at the word Isekai, just to keep my composure.
Yeah, no, I understand, Rem. I understand, because Isekai has a bit of a reputation. Even in the anime community, it has a bit of a reputation. Because today, Rem, there are more trashy, bad Isekais out there than there are any other type of anime. Because they're just kind of a go-to, junk food show or light novel or whatever to really let people disassociate, for lack of a better term, for a while. And sometimes people use the concept of an isekai to great effect to tell an interesting story, where the fact that they are a person from our world is actually a real important factor that affects their life and who they are as a person, and that can be wonderful and fantastic. But other times, it's a bunch of bland bitch protagonists who aren't really contributing much of anything. And,
so what bland bitch protagonists are we getting now?
That's the thing, Rem. This isekai is not really about an individual.
Okay.
Because, Rem, this is a different kind of isekai. This is an isekai where it's not like somebody getting axed by Truck-kun and going to another world, or falling through a mysterious portal to go to another world and they're trapped there and they have to go on a magical fantasy adventure with some kind of stupid overpowered ability. No, Rem, the isekai we're talking about today, Rem, is a simple little vignette-style story about a special restaurant that on Saturdays, the front door of it is transported to another world, and various local fantasy residents come and eat normal human food. And that's the show. Because the anime we're talking about today...
It's just some kind of interdimensional restaurant?
Yeah, no, the anime we're watching today, Rem, is simply titled Isekai Shokudō, or more simply, Restaurant to Another World. And,
all right. This could be quite good. This could... What I want is... Okay, I'm going to ask for too much. All right?
I mean, hasn't stopped you in the past.
What I would love from something like this is something mostly slice of life, right? But where we get glimpses of... It's just a regular restaurant. We get a bunch of different guests and customers going in, right? And it's largely just hearing what's going on in their lives, right? Either through them talking to the staff or to each other, right? And some are just quite silly, and maybe we see them a few times over a week as this becomes their go-to spot for a week or something like that. I don't know, make it make sense.
Well, I just said that it only shows up once on one day every week, but that works too.
That's fine. They see them weekly.
Yeah.
And every episode is just a few weeks of focusing on one character, one group. All from a radically different world. We go sci-fi, we go fantasy, we go alt history, we go sort of Ghibli-esque. You explore different art styles, different anime styles, different tropes. Some can get quite sad, some get a little intense or even spooky. Most though are light and silly and cheery. That's what I would love from a show like this.
That is definitely asking for a lot, Remington.
I know, I'm aware.
I will say you will get some of that, though.
Okay, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, because straightforward, Rem, it is literally just it's about 2 vignettes per episode about a different restaurant goer coming to this restaurant and trying some human food and seeing their reaction to it and how they interact with it, essentially. It's a very cozy show, as it were. A little heavy on the narration, but, that's fine. It's a simple, straightforward show that we haven't really covered anything quite like it before. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about, see what it does well, and most importantly, if it does the most important thing in an anime like this, is how well does it make the food go? How good is the food looking? Because
Yeah.
one thing anime is really good at usually is making food look fan-fucking-tastic and make you want to eat something right now. And essentially what one of the things I want you to do in this anime when we're watching it is just do a bit of a hunger test. See if they do a good job being like, you know what? Hell yeah, I want to eat some spaghetti and meatballs with those rich nobles. Or hell yeah, omelet rice with a lizard man sounds great. It's like, just see if that's the kind of, if it does, it's a good job of being just a nice little cozy show to just kind of keep on, maybe not necessarily focus too heavily on, but just something to just kind of have on and casually enjoy. Or if it fails to do any of that aspect.
Sure.
So there's room for conversation here. Because, yeah, it doesn't get much more straightforward than this. You got a restaurant by the name of Western Restaurant Nicoya, and it's a very popular Tokyo-based restaurant, and serves everything from traditional Japanese food to a Western affair. And then every Saturday, the door transports between various fantasy locations, and various people either discover it or come in as a regular and sample the food there. And yeah, that's buddy.
It could be pleasant and nice. We'll see.
Like, the most important thing is, Rem, is it's not your stereotypical bad bullshit isekai. It is genuinely trying to do something different.
Just because it's not your stereotypical bad bullshit isekai does not mean it isn't a novel bad bullshit isekai.
Well, funny you mention that. It is a light novel adaptation, believe it or not. So, maybe there's something there. But yeah, I think that's basically all we need to cover. And, hopefully this will be nice and easy for you to consume in the interim of your moving, and hopefully by the time we're done with this one,
it should all be handled and resolved and okay.
Here's hoping. And just to make sure you feel a little bit better, the studio that did this was a studio called Silverlink, and we've covered a few series from them. My Next Life is a Villainous, Bofuri, Maxed Out Defense, Watamote, all shows that you
They're all about this
genuinely
silly
enjoy.
nonsense.
Yeah, and this one is just a more subdued, casual affair in comparison to that. So
Let's check it out.
let's go straight into it then. Without further ado, let's go watch some Isekai Shokudō.
We will feed you shit weekly as long as we're feeding you. If you're dying of cancer, eat a parfait. You'll feel better.
And we are back after watching 4 whole episodes of Isekai Shokudō, or Restaurant to Another World. So tell me, Remington, it's basically what I said on the tin, isn't it? Like, it's hard to get more straightforward than restaurant with magical creatures and food. So did it live up to your expectations, or were you woefully disappointed like you are with so many things?
Well, Shaun, obviously, I had like a dream version of what this show could be, and it was never going to reach that.
No. Like, your expectations were wildly disproportionate.
Well, they weren't my expectations. They were my hope, my dream.
Yeah. You're right.
I realized going in that wasn't going to be the case. What I didn't expect was that it was going to not even live up to your basic description. Somehow it's not just like, oh, it's straightforward, it's what it says on the tin. No, what the synopsis is somehow more thrilling than the show itself. And the synopsis isn't anything like terribly exciting in the first place. This show, all right, so because we're feeling in a nice culinary mood,
right?
Imagine that I serve to you some white rice, all right?
Okay.
But here's a little twist.
All right.
I'll also serve you some brown rice with that white rice. All right? So you may not be scintillated enough, but I will also let you browse Instagram and look at people's nice-looking food. Does that sound like
Ooh.
a fun time? Does that sound like a good culinary experience? Are you just thrilled? Oh boy. And you might think, hey, I enjoy looking at nice food pictures. Cool. So is it a good meal if you have that and then bland rice? Oh, but there's 2 varieties of bland rice. So does just that make it okay? No. So
But Rem, when you're struggling for, funding and such, when you're a bit on the poor side of the spectrum, you gotta make do with what you got, Rem. And sometimes pretty pictures of food really helps make your sad meal go down a bit better.
all right. So let's talk a bit about this show. The first episode is the only one where things happen. And even then, that's pushing it. But the first episode, I guess it's the best episode because it hasn't figured out the formula yet. It will very quickly figure out that formula. We meet, I guess, our protagonist. He's a chef. Oh, tell me more, Remington. What about this chef? He cooks things. We're done, Finn. We go into the restaurant. We see monsters and men arguing about what rice is best with. The argument gets rowdy, but then things calm down. Then we meet a naked woman who is one of the 6 great dragons. Why is she naked? I don't know, because I guess dragon. Episode 1 is a weirdly horny episode.
Hey, Rem, dragons are sexy, don't you know?
I don't know why they decided.
And I mean, most of the time dragons are naked anyway, so I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, but normally they don't have big tits, and then when they are clothed, for some reason the dress is designed to cup each titty separately. Which is not. I don't know if you've ever seen any dress. That's not how they're designed. They aren't designed with like a seam in the middle to make sure that each one is protruding independently of the other.
Well, maybe this dragon hasn't seen a dress either and has just heard tales of dresses, Remington. You can't judge her too harshly for it, I don't think.
Anyway, the dragon wants beef stew. Cool. That's it. That's the.
Okay, cool.
Then we. The next day, the chef wanders in, sees a woman sleeping on his floor who is eating his food. We learned she was homeless and hungry, wandered in, ate some food. She's a demon, apparently. You can tell because she has cute little horns. They have breakfast together. He hires her on. The dragon sees her and, I don't know, does something to her. I'm not quite sure what. Does not matter. Episode 1. Did you have a good time? Was that a good episode? Because that's the best one! Oh, but surely, Remington, surely you were exaggerating for comedic effect. Obviously, more things happened. You're just yada-yadaing over them for added comedic effect to emphasize how bland it is. But I'm fucking not, though. That's the thing. I'm not.
Oh, God.
Episode 2, we get introduced to the formula. So do you want to know the recipe of this show, Shaun? The little ingredient list, the order of operations on how to make an episode of this show?
Oh, Rem, I mean, I watched the whole first season of it, so surely I would know.
Why? Oh
I have to. Rem, we've been doing this for 5 years. This is how I fucking operate. I watch everything that's available in a single season to prepare for this shit. I'm aware how it works. But you know what? For the sake of brevity, yeah, no, Rem, I have no idea what goes on in this show. Tell me, what's up? Tell me what's up.
Every day of Saturn, which they say a lot, just say Saturday. It's not world building to just say day of Saturn. It's not. I don't know why they think it is. It's not. But every day of Saturn, we get some isekai trope. So Shaun, throw an isekai trope at me. Anyone?
Okay. Reincarnation.
Cool. Someone's been reincarnated. All right. We have a reincarnated individual, and they're like, oh, well, what's going on here? I'm brought back to life. And then what happens is they find a door, and they're like, what a strange door. This door shouldn't be here. And they open it and they're like, wow, what is this place? And the chef is like, oh, well, you're in another world. It's a restaurant in another world. Get it? That's the title. And they're like, another world? How preposterous, how ridiculous, how absurd. And the chef is like, well, sit down, order some food. And they're like, well, let's see what I'm going to order every single time I come here. From now on, I will never alter whatever you order the first time. You're locked the fuck in. And so they say, I will take this pretty ordinary meal. And then they're given that meal, and they're like, oh, how odd, how strange. It's almost like it's from another world. Spaghetti, you say? Curious. And then they try it, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is the single greatest meal I've ever had. Oh, the sauce, the noodles, the meatballs, you said these were? Oh, how divine. And so that's how it goes. And so some people are thinking, okay, so that's formula of an episode? No, that's a formula for half an episode. Repeat that exact same thing twice, and then you have an episode. Oh, but I'm sure that it's a little different each time. It's really fucking not. It's the exact same thing every time. And you might think, oh, but at least we get introduced like brand new characters each time. You don't. There are no characters in this show. There's some tropes. Get a trope, get a random dish. For some reason, spend 5 minutes of bland narrative exposition in each half episode where it'll talk all about who these characters are. You don't need to know who these characters are. The lore isn't interesting at all. I hate this show. It's so bad. Because I just don't care about meaningless people reacting to fake food. Which, all due respect, I've seen better. Like, there's so many anime that do it better if it comes to just pretty food. So what the fuck does this show have? The food, sometimes, like, for example, they make breakfast food with some of the, like, most raw, floppy-looking bacon I've ever seen in my goddamn life. You can't do that. But we do learn some lessons. For example, if you're dying of cancer, eat a parfait. You'll feel better, I guess. What the fuck does that mean? I'm not gonna explain it.
I mean,
not gonna.
It's not cancer per se, Remington.
No, it's generic illness. Whatever terminal illness you may have.
I mean, a parfait is lovely.
It is lovely. Hell, I'd go for a parfait. I don't think it would fix me. Anyway, and then we get a bunch of like just bland humans, right? Which is disappointing because you saw some creatures in the little intro bit. The first creature we see is a lizard man, right? Okay, cool. Maybe it'll get a little interesting now. Maybe it'll finally shake up the formula with the lizard man. No, the lizard man is the most boring part. The lizard man is the worst part. It's in episode 4, and it's 10 minutes of a terrible nature documentary exposition and the lizard people, they have learned how to ask for an omelet. Once they get an omelet, they cut into the omelet. The lizard man looks at the omelet, excited for his next bite. I'm not kidding. That's how it's done. For 10 fucking minutes. It's the worst nature documentary of all time about a lizard eating an omelet.
So Rem, you're telling me all the fans of like Lizardmen style characters are going to be horribly disappointed by this rendition?
Yes, because there's no character. It's just like, hey, what if an Argonian, but not? But what if an Argonian mixed with Wonder Bread? And then the cowards, they have the audacity to make a really horny first episode, right? Where they're like, ooh, look at the demon girl in the shower. Look at the dragon woman, and her boobs working independently. But then finally, we get some possible male fan service, all right, with this buff lizard men. It's a little bit weird, but hey, it's the only thing it's gonna give you, so you better take what you can get. And they do a full body naked shot of a lizard man, and then they have the audacity to Ken doll this motherfucker. Show us some lizard schlong. Justice for the lizard schlong.
Well, like, knowing what I know about reptile anatomy, my dude, like, there could be, like, a hatch component there. You never know.
Unhatch the lizard schlong.
Oh, God. You want to expose... nope, not gonna say it. Look, I know a little bit too much about lizard anatomy. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I bet you do, sir.
Oh, God.
It really just feels... This show is a friend coming up to you and saying, I just found this new influencer I really like. Look at the food they post. Doesn't it look good? And then you say, oh yeah, that does look good. And you expect the conversation to move on. But they keep scrolling. And they just keep saying, wow, doesn't that look good? And you're like, oh yeah, I guess that looks good too. So how's your day? And they're like, oh, and I need to show you this one. Doesn't that look good? And you're like, yeah, okay. And you just want to figure out a way to leave the conversation.
I mean, hey, to be fair, Rem, when I was watching the whole 12-episode season, I got a great nap halfway through.
I struggled to stay awake, so that's very fitting. I don't know who this show is for. I don't know, because it's not a slice of life. It's not an adventure isekai. It's not action. It's not horny enough for the horny individuals. The food doesn't look good enough to be one of those iconic food shows. Who is this? What's the audience? What's the genre? What the fuck is this show?
Rem, would it confuse you even more if I told you that the source material for this is a full-ass light novel?
What the fuck? How?
Yeah, no, it's it's a full light novel.
It would make more sense if you told me that this was from a 4-panel comic series.
Yeah, a 4-coma. Yeah, no, it's it's apparently a light novel series, and oh my god, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. Last one they released was in October of 2021, about when the second season dropped, and there's a future release plan for September of 2023.
Cool.
So somebody must enjoy it.
Let me quickly introduce the characters to our lovely listeners so that they understand that I'm not exaggerating here. So we have a treasure hunting adventurer. She fights goblins, sees the door, eats food. That's it. We have some vague lore.
Are you going to mention what food they have? I mean, clearly it's very important.
Minced meat cutlet. And once again, once you order something, for some reason, you are locked in. You will never... You might think, wow, in a place of a bunch of otherworldly food, right? Where you've never seen any of it before. That you'd have to try out a bunch because, oh my god, the novelty, the experience, figure out what you like in this... It's so different. It's literally otherworldly. No, if you get the spaghetti, you're spaghetti man forever.
I mean, at least the implication is that it's their fate. They love it and they don't want to change. I will also say
that goes further. So somehow it's almost like the doors know if you go through a door that someone else went through, you're gonna get their order. It doesn't have to be this way. It just is. It just you will order that. What? I don't know. Anyway, another character, we have Captain Heinrich or some shit. His thing is that he was really struggling on an adventure and then found the restaurant and said he'd come back. Then we have Thomas Alfare. He is known for all of his unique pasta sauces that he gets from the restaurant. But then there's a princess. She feels sick, but then she goes to the restaurant and she feels better. Lizard Men, nature documentary, real bad. Elf, she's a vegetarian.
Not even a vegetarian, full-ass vegan.
Yeah, she's vegan, gets food, is pleased. That's all they get! Once again, you're like, oh, but there has to... Rem, you're summarizing it. I cannot emphasize enough how I'm not. I cannot emphasize enough that is everything I am given.
Hey, Rem, you wanted an easy week this week. I mean, with all the moving, I was just giving you what you wanted.
Chinese water torture, nice and easy. All you need to do is lay down and let it happen. I mean, I guess, but I'm gonna descend into madness one way or the other, easily
Yeah.
or otherwise.
Well, hey, man, at least it was only like, I don't know, a little over an hour of your time. I mean, at least it could have been something ridiculous like 24 hours. Like, who would do such a thing like that?
That would be ridiculous, Shaun, and certainly not a reference to anything whatsoever.
Nope, not at all, Rem, not at all. But
To all of
no,
our
Rem,
listeners, you'll understand when you're older.
yeah, when you're older, when you're older. We can't tell you now, but we'll tell you when you're older. But yeah, no, Rem, I wanted to give you something easy and straightforward to get a nice, quick, dirty, I almost said horny episode. But it doesn't even do that, really, all that much.
No, it does it in like a weird way where it just feels like off-putting and like why did you put it in there? Like
Right. And I will confirm that, like, some characters get different meals down the line.
astonishing, bewildering.
I know, and there is, like, some changes to the story, quote unquote, but oh man, Rem, I had a hard time staying awake. Singing the show's praises in the first half of this was a little tricky for me. But hey, I made it. You made it. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Any guesses on what the MAL score for this show is, Rem?
It's gotta be low, right? Like I'm not missing anything. There's nothing.
Maybe some people just like a relaxing time with somewhat pretty food.
Sometimes I just like to relax by sitting in a room with all white walls and just watching the paint dry for hours on end. I think that okay, I'm going to say confidently below 7.5. If it's any higher than 7.5, I'm going to lose my mind. So that's the upper limit. I could even see an argument for this going as low as like a 6.8, but I don't think so. There were titties in the first episode, which automatically bumps it up for the weebs. I think that combined with food, combined with isekai, I think essentially it's being carried by those. Boobs, isekai, and food.
So it's essentially a dartboard that you're throwing tropes at.
Yeah. I'm going to say what I feel like is a horrendously high 7.38. 7.37.
Final answer?
No, 7.38. Lock it in.
All right, final answer.
I feel it in my loins.
So, Rem, Isekai Shokudō has about 103,000 ratings.
What?
It's from 2017, so it's had a lot of time. And it also got a second season, so that definitely bumped up its numbers quite a bit. But it is sitting nice and pretty at a 7.39.
Oh! Still way too high, but I'm just pleased that
you were within 1 point.
I was close to giving it a straight up like 6 point something, but I was like, no, it's an isekai. Unfortunately, the weebs can't help themselves.
I mean, yeah, it's from a time period where isekai were really starting to be experimental. And by experimental, I mean, hey, anything that wasn't a violently overpowered protagonist with no personality, surrounded by a bunch of cookie-cutter hot girls, was kind of a nice change of pace. It's just a show about food, and people like shows about food, you know? They're not
Sure.
going to rate it the highest thing ever, but you can kill a little bit of time with it, which is essentially how I watched it back when it came out. But yeah, that is essentially the anime. So you're telling me, Rem, that it's not exactly what you want if you want an anime about food.
I hate it.
You hate it.
I hate it more than it probably deserves, because it's not that it's the worst show of all time, right? It's just one of the single most bland, unoriginal, and uninspired shows that we've ever seen. So it's, yeah, I hate it for the unoriginality, and it's just beige. What if every meal you had was exclusively beige? It's too much. It's too much, man.
So, just for frame of reference, do you hate it more than Food Wars?
Probably. At least Food Wars was doing something.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't really like what Food Wars was doing, but they were doing literally something.
Oh yeah, no. Lots of horniness, lots of good food. It was great.
Meanwhile, this show, it has no conviction, it has no principles, Sean.
No principle, and the lack of principles is what really damns it for you.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Remington. I think that's a good point to call it. So is there any chance you'd like to watch a little bit more? After all, you got light novels and a whole second season to think about.
Second season? No.
Doesn't tickle your fancy at all there, Rem?
Fuck
Even
no.
if I told you that the second season only has 34,000 ratings and has a 7.67?
If you told me the second season was called Odd Taxi Season 2, then I'm with you. Then I'll give it a go. If they just change the name and the plot, then, I'm in. Otherwise, probably not.
Not your cuppa.
No.
What if I think there's an Odd Taxi movie that's supposed to be coming out at some point.
All in.
Yeah. Maybe it did come out already. I don't know. I'll look into it. Hopefully it's good. If it's not good, we won't ever talk about it. Because I don't want to disappoint you. Because Odd Taxi is great. At any rate, with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Rem trying like 2 whole flavors of rice and being bored by both of them.
You see, it's not just the real world rice, it's the other world rice too. It tastes basically the same, but oh, wow.
Just throwing knives at every isekai fan out there. But if you enjoyed that content, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcast and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are serving us rice after rice, bloating us until we inevitably explode. And on that list...
That's a myth, but that's okay.
And on that list, we have Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and a reward. Nobody, I'm skipping Patreon names until I get an apology notes from all who forced me to speak the unspeakable. Sean, repent, you filth.
What did I do? What did I do?
Like, I need backstory. I need lore. There's lost lore somewhere.
Like, I know I've done a lot of things to piss people off, but you gotta be specific, man.
Xanax, Yandere Neko, wondering who has the bigger sword, Remington or Kirito. Why Sean? Weekly haiku about Sean. That stupid hole, it's not even that big. I'm the host, damn it. Shout out to the big hole. Walk Me Home Gently, Totally God's Angel, Titan CNH, the villain behind glasses agrees that Rem is the best tsundere, and now Tsugo wants all of his panties. The Susannator, the penis mightier than the sword, that man is so dumb he could fall into a barrel of tits and still come out sucking his own thumb. Turban, Tainted Venom, Syrup the Turtle, Spicitis, So Sean, what was in that cup of doom that was definitely not piss? Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Sean, now supporter of Adam Sandler-themed adult toys. Sean, can I pui your mother, says Misaka. Sean's grandma is the OG White Swords Meister. Get well soon. No. They're supportive. They're supportive.
They are, I guess.
We'll take what we get. Sean calls me Little Daddy Rem when he enters my big hole. Seth sends you Sugoi Takai, that's what she said. Scratch that idea, my 21 will be going to sushi with friends and family after exploring downtown. Cannot wait for the second. Science is a bitch sometimes. Salty Pretzel, Ross Palmer, Robalobdob, Rhiannon Williams, Review Boondocks or you're racist. Oh, well, shit. Ram loves the big hole. Reki Kawahara, Reggie Davis, RarXD, that's I Love You and Dinosaur. Raphael GB, first time here. Thank you for all the episodes. Love you guys. Well, thank you, and we love you back. Paco El Musico, Other McNutt. On the 4th of July, 1806, we set sail from the sweet cove of Cork. We were sailing away with sheep for the shagging, eh, Sean? Nitaira, I don't understand. Nick Harvey, what Sean does is his own business. Neon Uvo Genesis, my name is Remington, I'm always right, I'm a podcast messiah and angel, and yes, I judge you for your tastes. Mommy Milkers, Makeka7 Hierto, Liam Dunn, Leave Denji and Pachita out of harm's way, Sean, Lance0325, Kylo, Keegan Talbot, Cassidy, Karma Chaos, Joshua Dinosaur, Jax, Janine, Jamhans. I was in the Joey Wheeler tier for 2 months, and I'm still waiting for my fanfic. We'll double check on that.
Send us a message, please.
Yes,
there's a good chance that I started writing it and spaced it because I'm an idiot.
If you've yet to receive your fanfic, message us, let us know. We're, logistically, sometimes it's a clusterfuck back here. I want to ride the bumper mole cars one more time before we leave the amusement park, says Misuka with excitement. Hell yes. Remington will ruin Darling and the Franks for Encrypted Cryptid. Remington Chase would like to thank you, Shaun, for our wonderful years of anime reviews and friendship. I don't know what to put here. I declare this an official submission row battle. Metafighters ready, row battle. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies. How much wood could a woodchuck suck if a woodchuck could suck wood? How many EVA pilots do you need to screw a light bulb? Only one absolutely rocking 23-minute episode. Hot take, the Soul Eater manga is better than the anime. Hey, don't cough in my butt. Hey, Dylan, please say this. Do.
Oh, God,
I've
your
done a
Dylan
better
impression
Dylan
is way more...
before. I've done a better Dylan before.
I know, but it's still way more flattering than your Shaun impression.
I nail both of them. They also hope G.R. Rollins is okay, so people are very supportive.
Yeah, see, that's good. That's good.
A good anime idea, the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. They've greatly increased. Is that an anime idea or just reality? Going down on Shaun's grandma, that one's unapologetic.
Yeah, no, they don't give a shit. Holy fuck.
Romeo and Juliet is my favorite anime. Glenn Michael Dolan. Farmer Weeb's Dark Fact of the Week. In the Jetsons, George was 40, Jane is 33, and their eldest daughter, Judy, is 16. Do the math. Oh god, I'd rather not. Fantide,
no,
F-Bomb,
God, Jesus.
Evangelion Insanity, Dylan Hayden. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Once upon a time, there was rice. Come aboard my pui pui bang bus Republican Shaun.
I hate everything about that. That's bad.
Here to remind you that you just lost the game. Cheese Monkey, Cameron Ashworth, Brock Hartford Geodude says, I'm going to take flack for this, but I think Girls in Panzer is better than Evangelion. Brie loves cheese. Brendan's grandma gave me chlamydia. Get checked, Rem. Black Star, Big Blue Bear Boy, Awkward Lesbian who just needs hug. Angel. Am I alive or am I dead? But what does it mean to live and die? But are we but capybara trapped in this big hole? Elise Howard, Alpha Angel, All Hail Lord Helix, AJ Tunnels offering a biscuit in these trying times, AJ Honey, A Days, Aaron Hegland, Dot. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody will get one of the world's 50 best restaurants. Vincent Calabrese, you get Geranium in Copenhagen. The Fitness Grand Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Students, you get Central in Lima. The Dungeon Master next door, you get Disfrutar in Barcelona. The Canadian Anime Stoner, you get the Verxo in Madrid. The Brown Mamba is back after being abducted to Layton, Utah for 2 years. You get Pujol, or Pujol? I don't know, in Mexico City. Shmaris, you get Asador Etiabari in Etsondo. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. Roscop, you get a Casa de Porco in Sao Paulo. Roberto with a Concerto, you get Lido 84 in Gardon Riviera. Reb, my grandmother wants that callback, and Shaun, my mom, says child support is too. You are getting Quintonil in Mexico City. Lots of high quality Spanish cuisine. Then we go to Patreon readings have gotten insane, changed my mind. You get La Calendre in Rubano. Shaun, real quick before I forget, we're watching Clandid next week, right? You get Mido in Lima. Monogatari takes all the boxes of what Shaun and Rem ever said they want in anime. This week's Evolve doesn't give them just a hat. You get Uliassi in Senegalia. Mike got his Overlord review. You get Styrarek in Vienna. Miguel Deleon, you get Don Julio in Buenos Aires. Massimo Martelli, you are going to get Real in Castel de Sangro. Latino wrote, How much does Shaun love his body pillows in Swedish? You get Elcano in Getaria. L plus Ratio, you get Noble Heart and Schmutzig in Berlin. What a name.
I recently learned what L plus Ratio means.
Just recently?
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like within the past couple of months, but yeah.
That sounds about right. Remington Chase hereby vowed to finish Sword Art Online. You get Septime in Paris. I'm Rem, say that Shaun's grandma's an angel in bed. I can't hold it back anymore. You get the Jane in Antwerp. I turned 40 in May. Any chance you can review Healer Girl for my birthday? You get the Chairman in Hong Kong. I believe in Remington Supremacy. You get Franson in Stockholm. Hellarex, you get Restaurant Tim Rao in Berlin. Head on, apply directly to forehead. You get Hof van Cleve in Cruciatum. Go ahead, call the cops. It won't silence the voices. They're getting louder. Send help, please. You get Le Clarence in Paris. For the first 100 episodes, I thought this was a Harry Potter fanfiction podcast. You get Saint Hubertus in San Canciano. Dylan, cue the music. Hasta la vida. Oh, okay. Hasta la vida loca. Loca. Te encanta la music. Teto. Cara. It doesn't help that these I want to emphasize, this isn't just me struggling with Spanish words. They did this as two words, no spaces. So they have sabotaged me. You are going to get Florelege in Tokyo. Drew the Almighty Monarch of the Big Hole. You get Arpege in Paris. Cryptid Milf. You are going to get Maita in Lima. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes. You are going to get Adamix in New York. Carver 271, you are going to get Hisa Franco in Kobarid. Bo Hancock is the best waifu, and you get The Big Hole. Beethoven 1201, you get The Clove Club in London. Animated Z, you get Odette in Singapore. Allfather forgot to change his name for a few weeks, 27 weeks until Bonsai, you get Fine in Cape Town. And Adam Sandler's cosplay as Judy Hopps cuddles with the MILF Hunter Shaun. You are going to get Sorn in Bangkok. And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will review you as if you were food. What does that mean? We're about to see.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, we start. Watch Saints Young Men from Rima.
God,
I'm looking forward to this.
That's essentially describing the tastes of our patron.
Or textures, aromas, vibes.
Okay.
Display.
Disclaimer, none of this is sexual.
I don't know, I feel like you're making it more sexual.
This one has a divine umami to it.
Beautiful. No notes. Hey, Rem's girlfriend, what plushie do you want that you don't have?
Ooh, what a satisfying mouthfeel.
Okay. Hermione begs Harry and Ron.
You know, this is firm yet toothsome.
Reminds me of a certain editor I know. Next up, my dear old mom.
That's Dylan. He's al dente. Oh, God. Oh man, what a sweet delight.
Fair. And last but not least, we got Blood Cell warns Rem it's all fun and games until the Pui Pui Odd Taxi rolls up. That is the collab I want to see in the world.
Pui Pui Molcar plus Odd Taxi.
Oh my god.
With knowing how Odd Taxi ends, like, I feel like that's a darker timeline.
It'd be so good.
Let's go with, just like Mom used to make.
And that's how you learn that you're siblings. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. Disclaimer, none of this is sexual. Dragons are sexy, don't you know? Sometimes pretty pictures of food really helps make your sad cum go down a bit better. So, did it live up to your expectations, or were you woefully disappointed like you are with your penis? Hell yeah, I want to eat some rich nobles. Balls.
Show us some lizard schlong. Justice for the lizard schlong. I'ma get that bread, I'm a cum slut, daddy.